So Rangers still yet to get off the mark in terms of a win in the league this season. They did manage to rescue a draw with a penalty in 90 plus minutes, which in my opinion isn't a penalty. I don't know if it's the whole VAR rule with it not being a clear and obvious error from the referee. I think Kasama's thrown himself to the ground and it's got Rangers out of what could have been an even worse result for themselves. But in terms of the game itself, Dundee set up to frustrate Rangers with the low block. It's probably, yes, it's Motherwell you would maybe expect to set up with a low block against them, but obviously Motherwell didn't do that. It's the first time that Russell Martin's side have come up against a low block this season, and they struggled to break it down and create clear-cut chances until it became very open at the end, where they started to create one or two more chances. Dessers, of course, scores as well, but he's clearly offside. The Dundee goal comes from a set play. They threatened from set plays all afternoon. They hit the post a couple of times in the first half, one of which was offside. But this header, really good looping header, to be fair to them. And they could have had a second when they were through on goal, and Deji Kazama, the man in, Giga, took out the last man, goal scoring opportunity. Can't have any complaints with the red card, to be fair. And, the Rangers fans were not happy at full time. Some of the substitutions as well, a little bit questionable, I would say. And is this going to be another season of the Rangers players can get up for it for European fixtures, but the domestic bread and butter, it just falls away. It's, in my opinion, from watching the Rangers games so far this season, they've had 5 games. Yes, they have yet to be beaten. 5 games and only one good performance, which was the performance against Pilsen. The red card, of course, changes the game in the first game against Panathinaikos. The second game, they were getting absolutely battered. If Panathinaikos could finish their dinner, it probably would have finished a lot differently. Motherwell deserved to beat them. Dundee will probably feel hard done by that they didn't see it out for the win, even though they set up to defend for their lives today and they managed to score from a set play, to be fair. But credit to Dundee and Stephen Pressley with the way he set up. They've been coming under a lot of criticism after getting knocked out of the League Cup. And they set up perfectly today, game plan wise. It could have crumbled at the end there with the penalty and the goal that was chopped off for offside, rightly so. But they'll probably feel hard done by that they didn't manage to see it out in the end as well. So now Rangers is finding themselves in a situation, 2 points on the board after 2 games, where if Celtic are to go and win against Aberdeen tomorrow, Celtic will be 5 points ahead. 4 points ahead before the first derby game even happens, if you like. Which, if Rangers then postpone their league fixture against St Mirren, if and when they get to the playoffs, Celtic, who have already said they're not going to postpone that game, could potentially extend the lead from that point. If they win against Aberdeen tomorrow, could potentially extend the lead to 7 points. Obviously, Rangers would have a game in hand, but even without that game in hand, essentially, the game at Ibrox has become massively must-win for Rangers already, if it wasn't already, because if they win the game, then they bring the gap back down to 1 point, essentially. But if they lose the game, then the gap increases to that 7 point margin, essentially, but it will actually say 10 points by the end of August, assuming that all the games are won out with that in beforehand and stuff, which obviously you can't really do, but it is poor start to the domestic season for Rangers again, and the style of football that Russell Martin's employed, you can see what he's trying to do with the attacking play, but today it really struggled against that low block, and 80% of the games in the Scottish Premiership, that's probably what they're going to come up against, particularly at home in Ibrox, so they need to sort that out, you would imagine, beforehand. And obviously the big centre-half Giga, who the Rangers fans have been raving about, is going to be missing for at least the next domestic game, especially since it was a straight red card, so it could even be more than that. So not looking good domestically for Rangers at the moment. Obviously, Europe, they should be comfortably through, although Pilsen might fancy their chances after that performance, but 3 goals ahead, you would imagine it would take something mighty for them not to go through. But that's going to do it for that match reaction to it. Not great from a Rangers point of view. Really good from a Dundee point of view. That'll maybe kickstart their season. You never know. And with Falkirk getting soundly beaten by Livingston earlier on, maybe that can help kickstart them as well and think, okay, we're not as far behind as potentially some people might think we were. And they were missing Simon Murray today as well, so main goal threat missing up front. And to be able to get that result is not too bad at all. Thank you very much for watching. If you are new around here, please consider checking out some of the other content on the channel, and I'll be back tomorrow with a reaction to the Celtic and Aberdeen game.